Imagine arriving at your driveway in a car so awful it's practically legendary.
Right then, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Vauxhall Vectra, a design look. There she is, look, 66,000 miles on the clock. I'm sure it'll be right. Clearly.
One that makes mechanics groan in annoyance and neighbours laugh. Welcome to the strange and incomprehensible realm of automotive misfires. From dubious designs to outright engineering catastrophes, these vehicles failed not just to look good, but also to deliver. Join us as we travel down the potholed road of the 10 worst vehicles ever produced in the UK. Morris Marina. Among the best illustrations of British Leyland's problems is the Morris Marina. Though it sold successfully at first, its uninspiring design, low performance, and unreliable dependability soon made it infamous. The cost-cutting policies of British Leyland produced an unoriginal and unpleasant driving automobile. With early models prone to chassis flex and suspension breakdowns, the Marina suffered from very poor structural integrity. With a steering arrangement that felt detached and unclear, the handling was at best uninspired and actively unsafe. Rust was also a frequent opponent. Many Marinas died from corrosion more quickly than their rivals. The Marina's reputation as a parts bin special compounded things. Because of British Leyland's financial difficulties, Marina drew substantially from prior models, producing an antiquated car even at introduction. For many, the Marina represented everything bad with the 1970s British automotive sector. The Marina barely competed with itself. It was meant to compete with the Ford Cortina, but with a soggy suspension and an engine that groaned under pressure. Austin Allegro. Critics dubbed the Austin Allegro all aggro. A car that promised innovation but turned out to be only mediocre. Among its quirks were the iconic Quartic steering wheel and ill-fitting body panels. Though its unpleasant feel and unsuitable design made the Allegro's Quartic steering wheel a laughingstock, it was meant as a cutting-edge ergonomic advantage. Many drivers grumbled that it made driving even more difficult. Complicating matters further, the Allegro was prone to excessive body flex, a condition aggravated by the hydrogas suspension system, which often failed and left the car unbalanced or too bouncy. Further erasing Allegro's reputation were production problems, clear evidence of misaligned doors, uneven panel gaps, and poor paint quality came from British Leyland's more aspirational than operational quality control. The car's ride and handling stayed poor even with its sophisticated independent suspension, a tool supposed to surpass rivals. Many times, owners said the driving experience felt like a disconnection and slowness. Complicating its demise were Allegro's dependability issues. Engines often overheated, gearboxes were prone to breakdown, and rust seemed to develop virtually overnight. It was obvious by the conclusion of its manufacturing run that the Allegro had fallen short of its promises of performance and innovation, therefore confirming its reputation as among the most hated automobiles in the UK. Reliant Robin. A cultural icon for all the wrong reasons. The three-wheeled Reliant Robin is more of a meme than a means of mobility, renowned for its inclination to tip over. Although the lightweight fiberglass body of the Robin was supposed to increase fuel economy, it also made the car feel frail. Its unusual design decision, a single front wheel, reduced stability to the extent that rapid turns became a gamble. The Robin gained a reputation as among the most deadly vehicles on the road for this design defect. Notwithstanding its flaws, the Robin kept a devoted following, in part because of its unique appeal and reasonable price. Still, it is a perfect illustration of what occurs when unusual design gives safety and practicality a second thought. Technically a car, but spiritually a tricycle, the Reliant Robin was both terrible and hilarious in equal measure. Triumph TR7. Although Triumph's TR7 was sold as the shape of things to come, its disappointing mechanics and wedge-shaped form were ugly. Add the legendary construction problems of British Leyland and you have a formula for disaster. The underpowered engine was one of the main defects of TR7. It fell short of the exciting performance sports cars were supposed to provide. Early models also suffered from poor dependability, with overheated engines becoming all too prevalent and regular electrical problems. The car's design also split views. Although some valued its futuristic wedge form, others thought it to be uncomfortable and uninspiring. Added to ongoing manufacturing delays and union conflicts at British Leyland, the TR7's reputation was never fully restored. Its engine churned stomachs while its appearance turned heads. The TR7 was the automotive equivalent of false advertising. Rover City Rover. Although the Rover City Rover was meant to rescue the faltering Rover brand, its high cost and budget car characteristics brought it down. Designed essentially as a rebadged Tata Indica, it lacked justification for its expense. Critics pounced the City Rover for its poor performance and cheap inside. Its unattractive appearance and small feature set made it seem surpassed by rivals, providing more value for money. Though small, it lacks the elegance anticipated of a city car within its budget. For the City Rover, another complaint was build quality. Owners claimed faulty electrical systems, creaky panels, and badly completed interiors. Another major disadvantage of the car was its lack of contemporary safety measures, particularly given better equipped alternatives from competing models from companies like Ford and Toyota. The City Rover's marketing plan had little bearing on anything. Rover tried to present it as a premium city car, but its Tata roots and budget engineering were unavoidable. Sales were poor, and the car's failure hastened Rover's collapse, so defining the City Rover as a symbol of the brand's fall-off. With a price tag that said luxury but a build quality screaming bargain bin, the City Rover sank faster than Rover itself. Sinclair C5. Though technically not a car, inventor Clive Sinclair introduced the strange electric vehicle known as the Sinclair C5. It was useless on British roads because of zero weather protection and a top speed of 15 miles per hour. Because drivers of the C5 were generally below the line of sight of other vehicles, their low seating posture made traffic risky. Its build quality left much to be wanted, and its battery life was also limited. Critics called it a toy instead of a valid kind of mobility. Sinclair had dreams, but the C5 was a commercial disaster. These days, it's seen as a warning story about inventions that gave novelty top priority over use. It was ahead of its time, but only if you consider the Stone Age a time worth revisiting. 7. Vauxhall Vectra. Although not quite horrible, the Vauxhall Vectra was so boring that former Top Gear presenter Jeremy Clarkson detested it. Mediocre design and handling let it fall short of its rivals. The Vectra's excessively soft suspension was blamed for compromising cornering ability and a detached driving feel. Inside, the car's inferior materials and lack of contemporary conveniences made for a similarly unappealing design. The Vectra's practicality couldn't help a family sedan escape its reputation as a dull vehicle. It reminded me that often mediocrity is worse than total failure. Not the worst car on the list, but the Vectra was so dull it made watching paint dry seem like an adrenaline activity. 8. Hillman Imp. Promoted as a rival Mini, the Hillman Imp suffered from overheated reputation and dependability problems. Though badly done, its rear-engine concept was creative. Derived from a Coventry Climax racing unit, the Imp's engine promised performance but frequently caused disappointment. For owners, mechanical breakdowns and cooling system issues made life difficult. Its construction quality suffered as well from hurried manufacturing plans. With a hatchback form and small size, the Imp's design was ahead of its time despite its defects. These advantages, meanwhile, could not offset its dependability problems. It was small, it was lovely, but it was about as consistent as British weather. 9. Austin Princess. The Austin Princess battled unusual style and uneven build quality. Though it was sold as a luxury car, it sometimes felt anything from. For many owners, the odd wedge form of the car and the absence of a rear hatchback was an ergonomic challenge. Although creative, the hydrogas suspension was prone to breakdown, which resulted in an uncomfortable ride. Together with antiquated technology and dependability problems, the Princess came to represent British Leyland's incapability to compete with more dependable and better designed competition. The Princess became a commoner in the kingdom of bad cars. It was meant to be royal. 10. Rover SD1. Originally hailed for its elegant design, the Rover SD1 gained a reputation for bad dependability and substandard workmanship. Early vehicles suffered from electrical problems, corrosion, and ill-fitting inside trim. The sophisticated technologies of the car, digital displays and power-assisted steering, were prone to malfunction, which infuriated owners. Moreover, labour conflicts at the plant sometimes result in uneven quality. Though at first promising, the SD1's reputation as an unstable vehicle eclipsed its original design. It is nevertheless a warning story about ambition lost under execution. The SD1 acted like an unreliable friend, always letting you down when you most needed it, but looked like a sports car. Here you have a gallery of brilliance gone wrong, a cavalcade of anarchy and a parade of bad ideas. Though the UK may have created some of the best automobiles ever, these serve as warning stories. Did we overlook a stinker, or did your least preferred make the list? Tell us in the comments, and remember to like, subscribe, and join us next time for more.